Citizens, welcome to Humanity Junction. This is Heath, and this is Hangout with Humanity. And today we are doing a little walk. We're going to be going from Riverside Park, and I'm at about maybe 100th Street right now. And we're going to go all the way down to, hopefully, all the way down to the Highline, provided I've timed everything out well. And we get down there. I'm actually still walking towards my first destination. I see Jason the Train Freaks just popping in to say hello. But we're taking a little walk to destination number 1 right now. We got Lee from Manfield Road Layout in the loft. We've got Halo Burning joining as well. Thank you guys for checking in early. Hopefully more people will join as the walk continues, but for now, you can kind of see, let's go this way, kind of see where we're at. It's kind of beautiful out today. It's really warm in the sun, but it's actually kind of nice in the shade. So I'm gonna turn. Looks like a pretty day, or is it pretty hot? A little bit of both, but you know, it's all good. I'm gonna flip the camera around because we are approaching the first landmark of the day. Let's see if I can do this successfully. And of course, you guys might be able to see it, but I can't see it. For some reason, sometimes when I switch cameras, it doesn't come up right away. So let's there we go, back camera. Oh no. Oh, this is already going well. Oh, there we go. Now we're seeing the back camera. Yeah, this is a gimbal. It's a Smooth Q3 is what it's called. It's a ZHIYUM. And that's all I know. Yeah, so what happens is sometimes when I switch it, I can't see it. And that kind of becomes a little bit of an issue. But yeah, so this is Dinosaur Park. We're kind of walking through now. I'll go in over here for a second so that you can see it. But this will be kind of the start of today's journey. I see Norman's in the house, it looks like. Already out of breath walking and talking. I tell you, this walking and talking thing is tough. But so this is called Dinosaur Park. Playground is home to 2 fiberglass dinosaurs, the Triceratops and a Hadrosaur. Both were plant eaters and lived in North America near the end of the Cretaceous period, which lasted from about 136 to 65 million years ago. So yeah, and actually this view here, if you can kind of see where we're looking now, this was where an important beginning of a great train/subway movie was filmed. The 1979 New York City gang movie, The Warriors. The leader of all the gangs gave his speech, "Can you dig it?" Then he was shot, which started the chase of the Warriors back to Coney Island, riding trains and fighting gangs. Some would say that movie is kind of what caused the whole sort of perception of New York City being a dangerous place and all the, people being afraid to ride the subways and that kind of stuff. But it's actually a kids park. It's a beautiful little kids park. Heath, I expect to see you model this park on one of your N-scale modules. Yeah, I don't know that I'll be doing that. My thought on probably what I'm going to model of this city would be more the Penn Station area. Maybe even this West Side Yard that we're going to go to will be. Warriors come out and play. Hey, Marty from and But yeah, so we are now going over 96th Street, and this is kind of, I don't know. 96th Street seems like a big demarcation in the city. I don't really know why. It's sort of a major exit off of the Henry Hudson Parkway. But let's see if we kind of, oops, turn that too far. Kind of look down the street. It looks kind of pretty. So I like it up here. I hope the sound and everything are working out pretty well. This is my second sort of walk and talk stream, and I actually tested this walk out yesterday at Norman Row. Yes, I do have water today. I do remember, if you notice, I'll flip this around again for a second. Let's see that camera, front camera. If you notice, I got a little cross thing. I got a little fanny pack with me today. I got some water, and I brought my wallet because I'm definitely going to need my wallet to get home from where we're going, because whereas last time the walk took an hour and a half, like there and back, this walk's going to take about an hour and a half just to get to the Hudson Yards. So, yeah. Hello, Steve Childers. We've got, looks like he's saying hello to David, Mike, Lynn, Marty, and of course Heath, leaving me last but not least. So we're crossing where cars exit the West Side Highway, and we're heading back into Riverside Park. For now, we're not along the water. We're actually up a bit. One sort of, as the water's back here. We are walking, if everyone remembers the Freedom Tunnel from our previous conversations. We're walking on top of the Freedom Tunnel. You can see right here is one of the grates where the the air vents for that. So currently used by Amtrak, originally built by New York City Transit. Mr. Anthony Dodge, welcome. Yeah, so for people just joining us, this was suggested by Sydney over at TSG Multimedia, the super secret producer. She said, why don't you, as a part of your health challenge, do some walk and talks? So I'm walking, and I'm talking, and I'm completely out of breath already. But the idea is, walk around the city, encourage people to get out and, walk while you listen, walk while you join. If I've set things up correctly, the link should pop up at some point so that maybe other people can join on the walk. But yeah, this is part of Riverside Park. You may hear a motorcycle just went by on the highway, and of course they're really loud because they are. And that's just how it is. Hope everyone's having a fantastic day. Woo. Wasn't paying attention. I was looking down. Just so people know, I can only really see about one comment at a time. So if I miss your comment, it may just be that it went by too quickly, or it's just kind of the nature of this stuff. So right there on the other side of that bridge is the water, but that's the West Side Highway going by, and you could go down these stairs here, but we're not going to do that. We're going to stay up here for a little bit because I want to go to the Soldiers and Sailors Monument first, which is I just think this is a beautiful area of Riverside Park. Lots of kids playing, lots of gardens, lots of flowers, lots of good stuff. Sounds like fun Mike, not uh-oh, what did Mike do now? Yeah, it's just beautiful. I don't know. There's, for people that are wondering, straight ahead in this little area right here, right there, that's New Jersey. I am currently walking in Manhattan on the Upper West Side in Riverside Park, but you can see New Jersey just on the other side. Yeah, the crotch rockets actually aren't the ones that are the issues here in the city. There are people that have off-road bikes that they ride in the streets and they do wheelies and stuff, and it's, I don't know, it's kind of the summer fun, I guess. But here we are at the 91st Street Garden, celebrating 40 years in Riverside Park. This is the New York City's 91st Street Community Garden, located in the middle of Riverside Park between 90th and 91st Streets. The flowers and all the plants are maintained by dedicated volunteer gardeners known as the Garden People. And it's kind of cool. They, over the summer, it's really beautiful. And related to trains, there is another, you can see another vent for the train tunnel we're on top of. Amtrak. How you doing today? Yes, this is a little, maintained garden, and there are various areas of the city. It's missing a G-scale layout. That'd be interesting. Maybe we can suggest that to them and see if they take us up on it. But who knows if they will or not. But yeah, that would be kind of fun because it is. There are a bunch of these like little community park areas where volunteers basically maintain them. So I would just have to convince them to let me be responsible for one of the areas, and then I could put a little G-scale railroad in it. Probably need to be dead rail because it would likely not have power. But so this is the Soldiers and Sailors Memorial. We'll walk a little bit closer to it. We'll walk up and around. The Soldiers and Sailors Memorial Monument is located at 89th Street and Riverside Drive in Riverside Park. It commemorates Union Army soldiers and sailors who served in the American Civil War. Whew. Gotta love going up the stairs. Definitely going up the stairs adds to the adventure, that's for sure. But yeah, there's just like, this is the park. Can't you make a loco battery operated? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about with dead rail. Dead rail just means that the battery would be inside the locomotive. So yeah, there's another monument just like that in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Oh, really? There you go. It's a pretty cool little monument. And if anybody forgot their balls, there's some cannonballs. I don't think they're real cannonballs. I think they're just made up cannonballs. One thing I do want to stop and show, though, that I think's really cool is this house right here. I hope you guys can see it okay. I can't see the screen real well because of the sun, but this is the Isaac L. Rice Mansion, built in 1901 and 1903. It's one of only 2 freestanding mansions to survive on Riverside Drive. It's a reminder of the period in the earliest 20th century when Riverside Drive was lined by elegant single-family residences, serving as the west side counterpart to Fifth Avenue over on the east side. In 1899, the lot was sold, but carried the restriction that anything built here must be high-class private dwelling house, not less than 4 stories, and designed for use of one family only. So I think it's a school now. Oh no, it looks like maybe a synagogue now. I'm not really sure what it is now, but I just think it's just, you know, one of the many gorgeous buildings, and it's right across from this memorial, so you can't beat that. And of course, they've got all these little write-ups. People want to read the write-ups on it, but yeah, they've got some fake cannons here because, you know, of course you need fake cannons. But here's kind of the long view. I think it's under renovation or something. They've got it kind of, you know, they've got it, whatchamacallit, caged off, fenced off, I guess is the right word, caged off. They got it blocked off so people can't, like me, can't make a mess out of it. So I don't know what Jason just said, but I agree with whatever he said because Steve agrees with it, so it must be true. Oh, what's that say? 8508 pounds, 29 SCL SMM and Company, 1865. I thought these were. I didn't think these were real, but I don't know. Maybe they're. Could they be real? Never look down the barrel of a gun. Hey, Alan, how you doing? I don't disagree, but it had to be done. Does anyone know? Are these real? I mean, I guess they could be, right? Might be. So we're on Riverside Drive now, and we're actually going to head. Oh, and I just realized I took the long way around. So we're going to head back into the park, and we're going to actually make our way down towards the water. Why not real? I don't know. I guess I just assumed that they would be fake. I don't know why I made that assumption, but it's just, I don't know why I made that assumption. Probably not a good assumption to make, but they are real, but impotent. Yeah, that's one way of looking at it. So I'm going to pay attention and try not to fall down the stairs. Steve says they're Army surplus. Army surplus from 1865. Purchased in 1901 when they built the War Memorial. So that would definitely be some Army surplus, that's for sure. We are coming up on one of the 3 dog parks in Riverside Park. Most of the dog parks have 2 dog runs, one for large dogs and one for small dogs. The dog runs, one's up at 105th Street. This is the one at 87th Street. And then there is definitely one down at 72nd Street as well. But this is where technically you're legally allowed to have your dog off leash in New York City. And I say legally because, you know us, we always follow the rules, right? Speaking of dog, where's the train inspector? The train inspector is at home with the girlfriend, relaxing. She's recovering really well from her surgeries. So there's the West Side Highway, and there's the Hudson River. Hello, James from Boulder Creek Yard. So yeah, now we're going to head on down towards the river once I find the path, which we're not going down through that, that's for sure. but we will go down the path. And what's cool is for people just showing up, this if you notice on this grass area here, right up here a little bit more, is a vent, and that vent is currently for the Amtrak train, originally built for New York City Transit. So I'm walking on top of the train tunnel, and when we go down this path, we'll actually be able to see into the tunnel a little bit because of the change in elevation. So yeah, never walked through the nettles. They smell good though. They definitely smell good. So yeah, this used to be pretty common bike path, because along this area there used to not be a path along the water. But when we get down to the water, I'll look towards the north. We're actually heading south, but I'll look towards the north, and you'll see that they built kind of a new walkway out just over the edge of the water. But that didn't exist for a long time. So for a long time, the highway was just so close to the water that if you were walking or biking, you actually had to leave the water's edge, make your way up here, and then come on back down. Yeah, it's just, I like this park. I like this park because it's not as touristy as Central Park. This is much more of a neighborhood type of park, at least the part we're on currently. We'll get to the part of the park that's a little more busy and a little more chaotic, but for now. What is James doing? Is James causing trouble? Again, for people just showing up, I can only see, unfortunately, one comment at a time, the way the screen is set up. So I can only see the train brief last comment. So if I miss your comment, I apologize. If it was important, feel free to do it again. All that dog parking is why there's no reason for vehicles. If they can teach a dog to park, why do humans have such issues? It's a dog park as in like a park to play, not a dog park for them to park their butts. Although, I was going to join you, but the app isn't working on my phone. Ironically, I'm using the app on my phone right now. Do you have an iPhone, DB Tech, or an Android phone? It does require a bit of bandwidth, so that's for sure. But here's the train. We're now at track level of what used to be the New York City Transit train. I don't think we'll be able to see anything because it's probably all blocked off. But oh no, you can kind of see. Look at that. So there's the graffiti. There's the tracks. So yeah, that's what we were walking on top of a little bit earlier. And that's what's called the Freedom Tunnel, if people want to look it up. And yeah, it's pretty nifty little area. And as I fall, we're gonna head towards the water. DB Tech, unfortunately, I don't know the Moto 4 enough to know. I know on the iPhone you have to use Safari. But I thought on Androids you could use Google Chrome. Artie, I know what you mean. Sometimes when you're up at 2 a.m., you might as well be getting paid. But hey, isn't this more fun? I mean, when was the last time you took a walk through New York City? Yeah, I almost wiped out. I almost had to post my own video of wiping out. So we're now... I don't know what street we're at. I'll figure it out eventually. But this part of the path here is new. This used to not really be here. So when you got to this part, you used to basically have to go up that hill and leave the water side. But now it's all connected, and you know, people ride their bikes, people walk, people do all kinds of fun things. You can see all the sailboats on the water. Yes, Damien, we are walking towards the 79th Street Boat Basin. It is absolutely coming up in a second. And now I am cooking because it is hot. It is hot when you're in the sun. And I can't see the screen right now, so I apologize if I'm missing people's comments, but the sun is not making it possible for me to see the screen again. Boy, I wish it was, oh, maybe if I go to this side of the, if I go over here, it's a little shadier. No breezes from the river. There is a little bit of a breeze, but when the sun is kind of pounding down on you, it's pretty harsh. And James, I don't know if I could add a sunshade because of the, you know, the way it is on the gimbal. I think if I add a sunshade, it'll, you know, it would make it off balance, and it wouldn't work out as well. We can definitely do the Statue of Liberty. Andy Estep and I, you've seen him around, and he was the person that showed us the caboose that he had on his property. Andy Estep and I went out to Governor's Island, and that's probably the best place to get a good shot of the Statue of Liberty. And we've definitely talked about going back out there. So if people are interested, we'll definitely do that. Yeah, James, what's interesting, I think what's happening is, I think it's just the brightness of the phone. And yeah, I mean, if I, you know, maybe one day I'll get a gimbal for my mirrorless camera, and I'll bring that out, and I'll put a monitor on top of it, and you know, we'll do this all professional like. But for now, we're just doing it old school with an iPhone and going from there. Dwight Curley, what's going on? Yeah, so here you see the water breaks for the 79th Street Boat Basin. And I think this first pier that's here now, I believe, is now a public pier. It used to be the whole boat basin was private, and anytime you sort of walked out there, you'd get scolded. But the 79th Street Boat Basin is a marina located in the Hudson River on the Upper West Side in Riverside Park at the foot of West 79th Street. Maintained and operated by the New York City Department of Parks and Recreation. It's the only facility in the city that allows year-round residency in boats. So one thing you'll notice as we walk by is there are several houseboats, and people do actually live on the houseboats. The other really cool thing in this area is what they call the 79th Street Rotunda. It wasn't originally built as a restaurant, but for a while, it was actually used as a restaurant, and that's this on here on the left. And if you go online, there's actually some really awesome information about the Rotunda. But the Rotunda was planned and built by former New York City Parks Department Commissioner Robert Moses during the West Side Highway's conversion into a parkway. It's a traffic circle that sits next to the boat basin between the Hudson River and the Henry Hudson Parkway. Apparently, you can see as well, like it's all rusting. The Rotunda and the boat basin have changed very little since their initial construction. Apparently, the New York City Parks is going to be renovated. The 80-year-old 79th Street Boat Basin and the Rotunda, if you go online, you can actually find plans as well for redesigning the entire rotunda, which I'm actually really excited about. When that was a restaurant, it was really cool to go sit there. You could, see out onto the water, and it's just a nice little cafe along the water for everybody. Norman says nice weathering. Yeah, I think they spent probably about 80 years weathering the side of that building with absolutely no work on it. You can see here a couple houseboats. But yeah, so this part of it is private. Only if you have a boat are you allowed to be here. And the other thing you'll notice is the moorings. The people that don't have docks, that have boats that are moored out here, you could bring your dinghy here to get in and out. So you clip off the mooring, get in your dinghy, bring it over to the dock area, and dock your dinghy. Dwight Curley, thank you so much for the super sticker. And I think somebody else did also that I can't see. Whoever. Oh, the Train Freak. Looks like Jason did as well. Jason, thank you so much for the super stickers. Much appreciated, guys. Yeah, I'm sort of curious when this is all done meaning like the comment section open up. I would be curious to hear how much people like this type of thing. I am trying to integrate it into being, train related, and that, we're walking on the Freedom Tunnel. We are going to the West Side Rail Yard, which is a Long Island Railroad yard. We'll also see the Highline, which is an old New York Central, tracks in the city. So I am curious, how much people like this kind of stuff as far as being on the main channel, or whether like this is just completely ridiculous. I guess if you hate it, you just won't show up, which, that's fine too. This is a little bit of a stretch till we get to the next little area. But the next area is really cool. The next area used to be a New York Central and then a Penn Central Is it? Oh shoot! I know what I have to do. There we go. Am I back? I might be back. I think I may have. No, the battery's charged. I think I may have run out of service area. Yeah, I still have plenty of charge, so I think I just may have hopefully just switched. Oh, there we go. All right, so I hope I'm back. I can see me. Lost a bunch of people during that melee. All the joys of trying to do this on the go, live. Isn't live amazing? Not really. Yeah, I don't blame you. Let's see. So looks like I'm back again, maybe. So we're still out here by the water. We're kind of in a, I mean, it shows that I have full service, or full, a bunch of bars, but, I can, I guess, see why, I can see why I may have dropped. But, yeah, so you can see way off in the distance if everything's still working. The 69th Street transfer bridge is way out there. We'll talk a little bit more about that when we get a little bit closer. Oh, Norman's saying night. Does that mean I dropped out again? Switching from one tower to the next. Yeah, I think that's probably what it was. Is it just, I basically had to refresh, and then when I refreshed, I forgot to re-add my camera back in. So I was talking, trying to say hello to people, but I hadn't added my camera back in. Dwight's saying no. So what's confusing me is I put the phone on do not disturb, and I thought that meant like I wouldn't get any notices and stuff, but I'm still getting like email notifications, and Jason actually texted me to tell me I was off the air, which was very helpful because I would have just kept yapping and yapping and yapping. So there is the West Side Highway is now West Side Highway is now up here. I guess live streaming at the end of the day is just talking to yourself anyway. So me just talking to myself was just more part of it. DND just prevents phone calls and text messages. So that would explain why I'm still able to get other notifications. But yeah, my understanding is there used to be, piers all along here at one point. Put one of those cones on your head. Yeah, I don't know about that. But all right, so if you're a train fan interested in old time train stuff, maybe in 5 more minutes or so, we'll be seeing up close some pretty cool freaking old train stuff from the New York Central days. So don't go too far. I mean, you can go wherever you want. But if you like that kind of stuff, we're about to get there. We're about to get close. I mean, you can see it there looming in the distance, but we'll get closer to it as well. Lots of people actually do a lot of like outdoor activities. A lot of people jogging and stuff, and walking, like what I'm doing along here. It's kind of a cool little. It's a nice area. It's a nice little area to hang out, but. All right, so we'll see if I can walk and talk about this area. I don't know if we can. I can't see if we're getting it. Yeah, I don't know if I can't see it well enough to know if I was showing it, but there was some sort of Army helicopter thing, but so this is known as Pier I. The railroad piers were lettered, and this is the one that was rebuilt. So in 2001, Phase I of Riverside Park South, a 7-acre section from 72nd Street to 68th Street, was officially open to the public. One of the most unique features of the first section of the new park is the recreational pier, which would be over on this side, the recreational pier. Pier I and most of Riverside Park South were originally part of the abandoned Penn Central Rail Yard between 59th and 72nd Streets. This is a really cool cafe. I used to walk down here with the dog, eat some food, and then walk our way back. But reconstructed to its original length of 795 feet, the pier has been narrowed considerably and is now only about 55 feet at its widest part, where it was once wide enough to fit 4 parallel railroad tracks. Most piers are built perpendicular to the shore, but Pier I, along with its old neighbors, Pier B, D, E, F, and G, as well as the nearby gantry, were built at a 55-degree angle to the shore to facilitate the transfer of rail cars from their tracks to a waiting barge. Only pilings remain of Piers B, D, E, F, and G, but the 95-year-old gantry remains standing today. Pier I Cafe, which is now behind me, is a seasonal outdoor cafe located in Riverside Park South that offers a panoramic waterfront view of the Hudson River. This fast, casual cafe has become a foodie destination for locals to savor. I feel like an advertisement. We're going to stop that. Let's go in the shade while we check this out. The 69th Street Transfer Bridge, part of the west side line of the New York Central Railroad, was a dock for flat cars, which allowed the transfer of railroad cars from the rail line to car floats, which crossed the Hudson River to Weehawken Yards in New Jersey. Its innovative linked span design kept the boxcars from falling into the river while being loaded. Now, one thing you'll notice about it that I believe is different, and Mike says model that. I would love to be able to model this. But one thing you might notice is if you look kind of like right here, you can see it's actually propped up on pieces of wood. And you can kind of see right here too, there's a concrete piling underneath it. They were at one point going to just destroy it, just tear it down. And some people kind of said, no, don't do that. And it's no longer floating, it's actually sitting on pilings. But yeah, I don't know which pier is which, but you can see all the old wood. Oh, how awesome would it be? I'd probably get in trouble, but you can see it's low tide right now, so you can actually walk. I could walk out to it, which I'm sure would get me yelled at. But it won't be the first time. I'm sure it won't be the last either. Nick from Nick's Crossing saying, "Do it." Nick, why don't you come here and help me? You can maybe just make out right here is some like twisted metal that used to be a part of it as well. But yeah, again, like, it's pretty cool to think that this whole area used to just be a rail yard at one point in time. And all the goods that came into New York City used to, yeah, James, the geese actually make me much more nervous than the park police. Although the other day when I was walking down here, I saw a park police guy that looked like ex-Marine, like he would kick your butt. But yeah, this is a nice little park, obviously renovated recently. I think my paperwork said 2001. There's a couple more railroad things coming up in a little bit that I'll show you. One of them was actually a thumbnail of mine a couple live streams ago. Lynn, behave yourself. We don't want you to be on. We don't want you to have problems with the wife. But yeah, a lot of us New Yorkers. This is where we come to sunbathe too. So definitely might see some sunbathing out here. But I do just, there's something to me about this juxtaposition, right? So like right here, right up there is the West Side Highway. And in the distance, you have all the skyscrapers. And then, you've got this gorgeous park as well. And it's just really kind of interesting to me, just how kind of beautiful it is, the juxtaposition. Yes, that is a weeping willow. I grew up actually with a weeping willow in my backyard, and if you don't like having to clean up weeping willow branches constantly, then I don't recommend getting a weeping willow. But yeah, it's pretty cool, this park. This was a rail yard. We're walking where railroad tracks used to be. Which I don't think you can, well, rail fanning's cool to see, the actual railroad tracks and stuff. It's pretty cool to see all the, where they used to be as well, or at least for me. So to my left right now is one of those like baby classes where the parents bring their kids and there's like entertainment. That's like the fourth one I've seen today. I don't know if there's something different about this week, that they're all the little, mommy and me, daddy and me classes going on. But I've seen quite a few today. And James from Boulder Creek Yard, I apologize, but I cannot see your comment at all because of the sun right now. But, we're getting there. Yeah, I do actually think it's kind of neat. Like, if you want to model stuff, right? Like, you can see that building out on the pier. And just like to get some of the details of it, like where they've used different pieces of metal to patch it up and different things like that they've kind of done. And the way, like, all the, if you're building a pier, right, you'd normally just build out your pier. But, hey, Hillbilly Railroad. Just build out your pier. You wouldn't necessarily put all these extra pylons. You can see, like right here, this one, you can see it's at that 55-degree angle that they were talking about before. So that looks like that was definitely one of the old train ones. And probably this one too. This was probably B, and that was probably C or something like that, would be my guess, based on where we are. Oh, here we go. So I don't know why these are here, and I don't know if you can see them or not. But we have Reading, we have B&O, we have Milwaukee Road, Penn Central, and then this one here says New York Central on it, which are kind of neat little things. And there's actually some more up here. I actually didn't realize that those existed. I was actually walking towards different ones. Are you walking? Oh, sorry, Norman. What did you say? Are you walking on reclaimed railroad ties? I don't think so. That would be really cool. They're definitely too small to actually be railroad ties. I do not think they are railroad ties. But I'll show a couple more of those cast railroad things, and then we'll take a look at a locomotive that's sitting up here as well. But you can see again, here's some little stones. This one's got Erie, New Haven, Penn Central, New York Central, Milwaukee Road, B&O. Oh, we got a little corgi hanging out. I don't know what the deal is with this little area right here either, but it looks like they kept some sort of little like bridge thing. Yeah, Norman, I agree. That would have been really cool. When we get to the very end of today's walk, which I think we might be on track for, we will be walking along old rail, like actual rail that existed, but I believe all the ties are new. But this is a pretty cool, like, you want to model something? Like, how cool is that? The way the water's kind of worn away the lower rocks, but then you can see, let's do it this way. You can see all the little bits of the pier, right? So that was that, and then as you come over here, you can see the remnants of the rest of the pier as well. Out there again on that 55-degree angle. And now coming up, right about here, we have an Alco S1. We've talked about this a little bit before because it was a thumbnail of mine. I looked up a little bit more information on it just for this walk. New York Central 8625. It's an Alco S1 built as Erie 307 in October of 1946. Its serial number 74962. It was also BEDT, which is Brooklyn East District Terminal 25 in the 70s. NYCH, which is New York Central Harbor 25 in the 80s. And now it's New York Central 8625. Locomotive 8625 is a 660 horsepower American Locomotive Company switching engine built in 1946. It's identical to those that moved freight cars here from the 1940s to the 1970s. This particular engine served for decades in similar service in Brooklyn on the Cross Harbor Railroad before it was retired, restored, and shipped by barge to Riverside South in 2006. Jason, I love that you brought paperwork. Yeah, I mean, you know, I can remember only so much information in my little head. So I had to bring paperwork with me. Let's see. So we should have added an Jason to the stream.
Ugly's probably about
Jason
right.
Small. We'll make Jason
ugly's
small
probably
as
about
to
right.
not. Yeah. How you doing, Jason?
Pretty good, and you? It is
I'm
Friday.
doing pretty good. I'm a little warm. Oh, it is definitely Friday. But this is beautiful out here. So now you can start reading comments for me because I can't see anything. Or are you driving right now, or are you parked? Did you get your food already?
I just parked. The only thing is if I can pull up the comments, but I can't see any video. It's like the comments overhead that. So Norman, I just literally parked right beside the railroad tracks. I'm parallel to them.
Dwight Curley is saying, "What is that? Is Dwight talking about me? What is that?"
I would assume so.
Dwight, be a little more specific because I'm not sure what you're asking. Oh, are you asking about what this building is? You're asking what this big building is? This is the Department of Sanitation building. And that's all I
So,
know right now, but maybe as we walk by, there'll be more information.
so do they put like, typically sanitation is trash. So do they load trash into barges?
Yes, but I don't know if that's what they do here. But I
Uh,
do know that a lot of Manhattan trash is loaded up onto barges and taken elsewhere.
Heath, Marty says, tell Heath to jump in the lake.
Actually, that would probably feel really good right now. You can see the waves crashing here against the edge. It'd probably be
Yeah,
it'd probably feel pretty good. But
yeah, the wakes.
one thing
Well,
people don't know
there's a
about me
sidewalk.
is, yeah,
Or is that a
I'm
boat
not a
ramp?
good swimmer. Yeah, this is a boat ramp. I don't know what it's for though. I've never ever seen any boats or anything loaded or unloaded here. So I have no idea what it's for. And if you look at the pylons, it's still down. If you look at the pylons, it looks like they haven't been taken out of the ground in a really, really long time. So
Probably ain't been used in a very long time.
I would have to agree with that. So there's some old buildings now all around us. So this is a new building, right? This is the it's about Department of Sanitation building. That's their crest up there, and you can see one of the trucks maybe leaving. So yeah, I don't know exactly what they do there, but they do something there. But my understanding is this building here, right here, I think used to have something to do with the old IRT. I think it was an IRT power plant or something, if I'm
Okay.
remembering correctly. But we'll see in 1 second. We'll see. Well, here's I think this is, I don't know what this is. Water treatment plant, maybe? Now, see, water treatment doesn't make sense because most of our water we get up from the Croton Reservoir. So this must be natural gas.
Yeah, that looks like natural gas, possibly.
I'm feeling gassy just looking at it. But over here, so this building is new. And
That's
it's a weird
interesting.
swoopy building. Yeah, isn't it? But this building over here is pretty cool. This one with all the green glass on it, that's another Department of Sanitation building.
Offices,
So it's just
maybe?
kind of another, I don't know actually. I think it's a garage, to be honest with you. I think it's where a lot of the dump trucks come. You might be able to see there's big doors, on the north side, and then there's actually some more big doors in the center. I think
Yeah.
it's parking for the dump trucks. Or not the dump trucks, what are they called? Garbage trucks. But yeah, like this building, like I don't know what they were thinking when they made it. But again, the juxtaposition of New York City.
It is different.
Yeah, it sure is. It sure is.
I guess that's what they call modern.
Is that what they call that?
I guess. I don't know. Looks like Vinny just popped in.
Hey, Vinny. I just got hungry.
You got hungry?
Yeah.
Yeah, so did I. That's. I got my lunch right here.
Yeah.
Taco Bell.
So this is another little manicured pier. You can kind of see. Let's see. Does it say where we are? We should be here-ish. No, we're here. There we are, where it says you. And we're walking that way. So another cool little building if people want to want to build a little building.
So someone said Lynn's been following on Google Maps. He saw there's an ice cream museum.
Oh, that's hilarious, Lynn. That is hilarious.
Yeah, where's the ice cream museum? You could do like taste samples for all of us in chat.
Yeah, you guys know that I'm or lactose intolerant, right? So ice cream and me do not agree.
Oh. Yeah, we don't need that.
Oh, looks like this used to be a little ice cream truck thing. Now it's just a big empty bottle. There's another cool building if you want some modeling ideas with all the weathering. Took me a long time to do all that weathering. So we are walking towards the Intrepid Museum, the Intrepid Air and Space Museum.
Okay.
And then just past that will be the Javits Center. And then just past that will be the West Side Yard for the Long Island Railroad, where the Long Island Railroad stores all of the trains when not during rush hour. I am throwing away.
Marty's back.
Someone says what? Oh, Marty's back. Hey, Marty.
Yeah.
Apologize, but I'm getting a little liquid in me.
Well, I mean, I'm eating lunch, so.
As much as people probably want to see me faint and fall down, it's not high on my list of things to do.
I'm curious to see if I'll get a train today. I caught one yesterday.
Oh yeah?
It was a crude oil train.
Oil how do you, oil said with a southern accent?
Yeah, oil. Oil, however you want to say it. OIL.
Oil. I don't know how you say it. Now that
Oil.
you said it with your accent, I can't figure out for the life of me how to say it.
Oil.
So Pier 94, it's my understanding the only thing that this is used for still is as an event space. The Westminster Dog Show, when it's at Madison Square Garden, they do like 2 days of pre-activities here at Pier 94. And they just do a bunch of other activities as well. But basically this in front of us, and I'll get a better view when we get around it, but these are the cruise terminal. So if you're going to take a passenger cruise out of New York City, this is the cruise terminal that you would go to. And on a Friday, I don't think we're going to see any cruise ships because I believe they come in and out midweek. But we'll see the Intrepid. The USS Intrepid will be there when we get there.
So the cruise ships, where do they go from New York?
Some go to Bermuda. I think there's one that goes up to like Maine. If there is a cross-Atlantic, like the Queen Mary II, would come here. Although, actually, no, that's not true. I think the Queen Mary II now goes out of Brooklyn. This used to be the only cruise terminal. Now there is also a cruise terminal in, whatchamacallit, Brooklyn. So I know they've moved some of the stuff over there. But yeah, they're for people that are interested, if you want to go to the Hustler Club, it's located right across from the cruise terminal.
So
So
the Queen, you said it's Queen Mary.
Queen Mary 2, I believe, is what it's called.
So
Because
where
there
does
was the
that one?
Queen
Does that
Mary.
go to the? Does that go to like Ireland and the UK or?
I believe it goes to the UK, but I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, that would be cool.
Yeah, that would be a pretty cool cruise, right?
I've been
So
on one cruise before, and it was okay.
I was on cruises as a younger kid, and it was interesting because there were some kids on the cruise, but not many.
Mhm.
I like all-inclusive type of things, where like you don't have to worry about the money or worry about anything. You just kind of can, you eat whatever you want to eat and whatnot and so forth. So I kind of like the idea of cruises. Joe Rader says, watch the icebergs, which is true. Ooh, baby, it's hot today. If
Yeah,
anybody
and
is looking for their life, here's life storage. Yeah, Norman says cruises are great if you like Legionnaire's disease, which I don't think they've had a case of Legionnaire's disease in the U.S. in forever, have they? But what is that in American dollars?
I think he's asking the price on the Queen Mary 2 is £1,000 one direction.
Ah, gotcha. Well, you figure £1,000 is probably what a flight costs too, right?
I would
So
assume.
back in the day, I used to work for an architectural lighting design firm. And one of the things that I worked on was this sign you see right here. When this sign was built, though, it was before LEDs were necessarily like really popular. So each of the LEDs
Heath, I think you froze up.
So I stay on this one, and there's one other one down here a little bit further that I sat at for like 2 days. And I mapped each of the little LEDs, at the physical location so that when they put video content over it, the LED was in the right spot.
So when you pointed your camera
I don't know
at
if you
that
can
sign,
see it real well or not, but
yeah, you're breaking up a little bit.
Which sign?
So when you pointed your camera at the sign, like your camera feed just totally froze up. So we missed everything you said.
Oh. Well, that's a bummer. I used to work for a company. We built that sign, and I mapped the LEDs. I didn't program the LEDs. A friend of mine did that, but I mapped the LEDs.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I didn't check that. I didn't check how well my signal would be along the walk the other day. I just sort of did the walk the other day. But I don't know if you can see, that's the cruise terminal out there.
Okay.
Or I should say that, yeah, it's the cruise terminal. That's, the cruise ship pulls up and they move that big gantry thing to where they need to move it.
Which they've
or
also
let the
got.
trains on, or let the people on.
Yeah, and then because some of the cruise ships go between other countries, you would have a U.S. Customs there as well.
Yes. Absolutely. And after 9/11, you actually have to drop your luggage off separately to go through a whole, inspection thing.
Yep.
And then you just show up and your luggage is just in your room.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully all of it's still there.
Right.
But right past this, which you can maybe just make out back there as I walk quickly past it, is the Intrepid, but we'll get a better view of that in 1 second after we get past all of this stuff. And hopefully my camera will keep working. I'm gonna flip everyone for a second just to see how much battery I have left. Looks like I got about a quarter of a battery. I may want to start plugging it in a little bit. Once we get past the Intrepid, maybe I'll plug it in for like 10 minutes and then unplug it. Because I do think whoever was saying that it was probably overheating, that may have been the case. Because once I was charging it, that it was, it was overheating.
Yeah, possibly. So how far are you from the Statue of Liberty?
Pretty far. I'm at like 42nd Street. No, I'm at 46th Street, sorry. And the Statue of Liberty is off the tip of the island, down at the bottom.
Gotcha. So you're like 40-something blocks away?
More than that, because once you get to First Street, then there's a bunch of named streets. So kind of the older part of New York is all named.
Gotcha.
We'll see how close they let me get before they toss me out. But here's a submarine. You used to be able to go in this submarine. I don't know if you still can or not. But there's there's a submarine. I used to know somebody that worked on a submarine, and he wanted some peace and quiet when he ate. So he found this room that nobody was in, and he would sit there and he'd eat his, eat his meal, and it was nice and peaceful and nobody bothered him. And eventually he found out that the reason nobody was in that room was because that was the nuclear reactor room. So he was basically eating his lunch on top of the nuclear reactor.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because that's a good place to eat lunch, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So
just hope you don't end up like Marie Curie.
Right. So there's the Intrepid.
Now the Intrepid, that's a carrier, right?
Yeah, give me 2 seconds, and I will try and pull out my little piece of paper that I got all prepared for it. I got a longer cable so that hopefully the charging cable won't pull on the camera as I walk, but of course there we go. Got it plugged in, and of course it's too heavy. Is it too heavy, or is it trying to subside? And it won't, it's too heavy, it looks like. Well, we'll figure that out in a second. Let's see. Okay, so the Intrepid Sea and Air Museum is an American military and maritime history museum in New York City with a collection of museum ships. It's located at Pier 86 at 46th Street along the Hudson River in Hell's Kitchen. The museum showcases the aircraft carrier USS Intrepid, the cruise missile submarine USS Growler, a Concorde SST, a Lockheed A-12 supersonic reconnaissance plane, and the Space Shuttle Enterprise. On the lower deck, there's also a reproduction of a World War I biplane. U.S. Intrepid, also known as the Fighting Eye, is one of 24 Essex-class aircraft carriers built during World War II for the United States Navy. She is the 4th U.S. Navy ship to bear the name. And if anyone's wondering, it's 820 feet at the waterline, and it's 872 feet on deck.
Wow.
So I am going to go somewhere where I can try and plug in the camera for a little bit and see if I can get it to, I'm going to do what people were suggesting yesterday. I'll wrap it around my head a couple times so that the cable's not hanging. There we go. That's better. That's much better. And that's much easier to hold too than yesterday. But yeah, so the space shuttle is, if you see that sort of building in the back. So let's see. Can we see it? Let's keep going. How you doing? Let's go down here. Here's another little dog park. Dogs.
Woof,
Woof, woof. Let's, oh, done. I'm trying to get, there we go. The people were talking about the Space Shuttle Enterprise is on the deck up in New York City. The carrier's that, yeah. So the Space Shuttle Enterprise is in this enclosure at the very back. There we go. Now we can see a little better. This enclosure at the very back here. And that's, that is where that is located.
So James Boulder Creek Yard is saying the Space Shuttle Enterprise is on deck up in New York City, and the carrier is down in Virginia.
Yes. Who wants to go run through the water? Anyone? Anyone?
Yeah, why not?
Actually, the phone would probably do fine. The gimbal, probably not so much.
Yeah.
Because the phone, I think, is, weatherproof or whatever you want to call it. I apologize if the camera's not as smooth. I'm trying to get a little bit of charge on it before we get down to Hudson Yards, just so I don't run out of power when we get to the good stuff.
So what building is this with all the flags?
This is the Circle Line Cruise terminal building.
Oh.
Circle Line Cruise is basically a tourist / party boat type of thing.
Okay.
So like if you're going to do a corporate event and people are coming in from out of town, a lot of people will do like a party boat on the Circle Line, and the Circle Line goes up and around the city, so you get to see some cool stuff. But yeah, we'll see here here's the Circle Line boats. And I've never been here either, but this lobster company thing too seems to be some sort of boat type thing also that you can do. Oops. I didn't mean to tip you up there. It's my fault.
Later, Vinny.
Later, Vinny.
So Lynn
Lucky
McCurdy
Strike
says,
Bowling Alley.
he says, if I could walk as far as Heath, I could walk to the Skunk Works in Lockheed.
Well, do it, Lynn. Come on. Even if it takes you a couple days, you can camp along the way, no?
And Mr. Pictovid says, who let Heath out of the basement?
So the problem is, the whole reason, well, not the whole reason, but a big reason why I'm doing this for the Friday stream is because the studio still isn't any closer to getting done. So I'm trying to not stream in the apartment. I'm trying to kind of get out a little bit, but it's a cool little tugboat.
I mean, this is pretty cool.
The lobster company.
I mean, you got a mix of railroad history in there too.
Yeah, and just wait till we get past the Javits Center. There is some cool stuff to see. I'm actually, it's 12:45, so I should get it in before my well, we'll at least get there before my 1 o'clock end, and then anybody that wants to stay on can hang out, and we can check out some of the stuff. But yeah, where I'm about to go, it's you can see the Long Island Railroad Yard. We can see some of the Highline tracks. What I'm thinking of doing is, like, I'm doing this walk down to the Highline, and then probably next week I will walk the Highline. So I'll like take the subway down to where I'm going to end today, and basically, pick up from there. But yeah, this is the New York Waterway Terminal. Yeah, this charging cable doesn't work really. It makes it real jittery, doesn't it? The video. I'll unplug it in a second.
So let's see here. Joe Rader wants to know if you're taking a cab back home.
I'll take the subway. I brought my wallet with me. I'll probably try and grab some food down at Hudson Yards or somewhere in that area, and then I will head back uptown and do that. Or I might just head right back uptown. But they built a subway extension. The 7 train used to end at 42nd Street. And part of building out Hudson Yards was that they expanded the 7 train out to Hudson Yards. So now it makes it much easier to get to like the Javits Center and to Hudson Yards via subway. So this right here, this sort of glass building right here, that's the Javits Center. The Jacob Javits Center, commonly known as the Javits Center, is a large convention center on 11th Avenue between 34th and 38th Street. Let's see, the space frame, blah, 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 blah. What's interesting, when the Javits Center opened, it replaced the New York Coliseum at Columbus Circle as the city's major convention facility. The Coliseum was subsequently demolished and replaced by the Time Warner Center. I miss the Coliseum. But yeah, that's the Javits Center right there. So if you come to New York City for a convention, and it's a big convention, like if you come for like the auto show, or you come for like Comic-Con, or you come for, let's see what else is done there. The boat show is there. They're all done at they're mostly done at the Javits Center. I think I'm getting burned today. I did this walk later in the day yesterday, and I didn't get nearly as much sun as I'm getting today. I can already feel my neck feels like it's burnt, and my arms are feeling burnt.
That's
Put on
not
your
good.
sunscreen, kids. Yeah. I had a decent base coat, so I thought I'd be fine. But I think I overestimated or underestimated.
At least you're wearing a hat.
Yeah. Oh. All right, hold on. Hold on. Camera's gone wonky. There we go. Okay. We're back to normal. So this pier is new to me. I've actually never been on this pier. I just noticed this was here the other day. I don't know when this was built, but it says open for public use in 2021. So I don't know what this is for or what the intention is or anything, but this is pretty new.
Let's see here. Jerry Satterelli says hello to both of us.
Mr. Sats, what's happening? So here's a little bit better view of the Javits Center. And right here in front of us is the Classic Car Club, I think it's called. if you want to rent a Lamborghini or a Maserati, classic car club. Yeah, so if you want to rent a Maserati or a Lamborghini or a Bugatti or any sort of like really expensive fancy car, you can get a membership here.
That looks like
I'm
a Lambo
sure it's
right
more
there.
Money.
Under the cover?
Oh, possibly. Yeah. Yesterday when I walked by, there were a couple Maseratis parked right along the edge here. But yeah, my understanding is you become a member of the club and then you can just take out any car you want anytime. Like, it's kind of like it's just so expensive that it's, like, you just take out what you want.
Yeah. That's for people who's got more money than they know what to do with.
Exactly. That's why I'm pointing it out to everybody here, because I'm sure everybody here is jumping on their phones and getting their memberships ready. Do you see the helicopter landing? There's a heliport right here as well. If you want to take a helicopter over to New Jersey, or if you just want to go on a helicopter tour of the city, you could do that right there.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So here it is. Coming up on our left is Hudson Yards. So Hudson Yards is technically, I don't know if you can, we're probably a little too far away to talk about it. Let's get a little closer and then we'll talk about it. Let's at least cross the street. So the Highline that I was talking about earlier currently ends on, I think it's like 30th Street, but they're going to extend it, and it's actually going to be, you can kind of see this railroad bridge like right here.
Yeah.
And they're going to extend it up to there. So you'll actually, once they get that done, you'll actually be able to walk all the way around the West Side Yard, like up above it. So you'll be able to like see all kinds of things. I love that Lynn is still following along on Google Live.
Yeah.
Or on Google Earth or whatever it's called.
Google Maps.
Yeah. I am not going to attempt to run across the West Side Highway, so I am just going to wait for the light because I'm not completely crazy. I'm average crazy, I think. But yeah, so that bridge you see right there is a railroad bridge. And they're going to finish it off eventually, and then it's going to become the north extension to the Highline. And we won't be able to see it quite from here, but you can maybe just make it out. There's like a barrier right like back here. Just on the other side of that barrier is the West Side Yard, and we'll get a better view of it. But here's the south side of the Javits Center. This is where you would get the mega buses. Like if you wanted a cheap bus to Boston, or this one's going to State College in Pittsburgh, you would come down here.
Yeah, because I don't think they have Greyhound anymore, or do they?
So Greyhound still exists. It used to be Bolt Bus. Bolt Bus was the cheap Greyhound bus line. Bolt Bus shut down, and now all of the trips are being taken over by Greyhound.
Okay.
So yeah, coming up we'll actually see him is one of those mega buses.
Because I know there's a couple of Greyhound depots not too far where I'm at that have shut down.
Oh, interesting.
like
Yeah, so
permanently
here,
shut down.
so you see it says CSX Transportation Gate?
Yeah.
And then if you look through closely, you can see some rails down here on the ground.
Yeah,
So
I see it.
this is going to extend all the way up. And then you can see here's kind of one of the little things about the Highline. So they're starting
Oh,
to get the signs up. So you can see, so we're here now.
yeah.
This is all going to be new. Currently it ends there. So
Gotcha.
I'm going to walk here, walk across. We'll go up these steps. And then this is the west side yard where we'll be able to see all the Long Island Railroad stuff.
Okay.
See the Long Island Railroad yard. So here's the mega bus. I actually like double-decker buses. I don't know why. I feel like they're like fun. There's something fun to them about for me. Baltimore, Washington, anywhere you want to go. So I don't know what this big empty area is here. I don't understand why it's here. There's still like a lot of work being done in this area. But we're gonna walk across this bridge here in a second. This one. And I apologize, I can't see people's comments because of the sun. And I'm sure people are getting tired of
Let's
hearing
see
me say
here.
that.
Looks like Rick Bailey is here. Ed Fannin. Andy Ambrose.
Andy Ambrose.
Yeah, I can only see one comment at a time, and I can't even see who it's coming from. I have to scroll up just to be able to see who is saying what.
Yeah. These walk-in talks, I think, might be better on StreamYard, that's for sure.
Yeah, I would think so. There's a rat rod going in front of me. I don't see those very often.
Yeah. I like the idea of melon, but it's not. It's kind of has just too many problems still.
Yeah.
So it's kind of.
I think melon would work. I think it would work great, like while you're in your studio. But it's not.
It's
very
better in the studio, but
friendly.
it's still got some issues.
Yeah,
it's definitely not mobile friendly. So this seems to have become like an impromptu like parking lot for NYPD stuff. This road doesn't go anywhere. And here we are.
The road to nowhere.
I don't know if people can see it, but can you make it out through the fence or no?
Yeah, I can see looks like something passenger. So this is all passenger, right?
Yes. So what this is the Long Island Railroad during rush hour has to run a lot of trains. And they need a spot to park them when it's not rush hour.
Right.
So that's what this yard is. And let me go up and around and you can see it not through the fence.
Oh, we got an empty track
there. But then on this side over here, this is Hudson Yards. So Hudson Yard, which is a 20-acre real estate development in the Chelsea and Hudson Yard neighborhoods in Manhattan. Upon completion, 13 of the 16 planned structures on the west side of Manhattan South would sit on a platform built over the west side yard, a storage yard for Long Island Railroad trains. The west side yard, officially the John D. Kammerer West Side Yard, is a rail yard owned by the MTA on the west side of Manhattan, used to store commuter rail trains operated by the subsidiary Long Island Railroad. The 26-acre yard sits between West 30th and West 33rd Street and 10th Avenue and 12th Avenue. The yard includes storage tracks, a 6-track indoor shop for light maintenance, a 12-car long platform for car cleaning, and lockers and a break room for employees. The yard sits at the north end of the Highline, a former elevated freight railroad converted into a park, and south of the truck marshaling yard. That's what that empty yard is the truck marshaling yard used by the Jacob Javits Center.
Okay.
It also sits above the 34th Street Hudson Yards subway station, which opened in 2015. Before this yard opened, in 1987, rush hour trains, sorry, one second, switching hands. So many trucks for construction. Before the yard opened in 1987, rush hour trains to or from Penn Station had to run without passengers to storage yards on Long Island, where the trains were stored during middays. The West Side Yard increased the LIRR's rush hour capacity at Penn Station. So Penn Station is basically, a couple blocks to my left at this point. So they used to have to, run the trains all the way, somewhere else.
Gotcha.
To get there.
So I'm assuming that's like a stub-ended yard?
Yes. Yep. It ends at the West Side Highway.
Okay.
And we'll see it in a second. And just so people know, I did just get the battery warning that my battery's about to die, so.
Oh, yay. Not really, but.
So you can kind of see the yard here, but let's go get a little bit closer. And hopefully my battery won't die. We'll walk down this way afterwards, and I'll show you some of the old tracks of the Highline.
So what would be really cool is you going down there and filming it right as the trains are all leaving out for rush hour. That would be cool.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Just to see how quick that yard is.
I wonder if there'd be other people. Yeah, I wonder if other people do that. This might, because I can come right here. I'll show you this. So if you remember on the other side, this is where it'll be. Sorry, this will be the walkway will continue all the way up and over and around to the other side. So we're now on the south side. But you can see the yard right here, and it goes in under Hudson Yards there. But yeah, that's and it ends. That's the end of it there against the highway.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
So, yeah.
Just like sit there and video and just do a time lapse or something to how fast does it empty out?
I will plan to do the afternoon one. I don't know that I will do the morning one because I don't know that I'm going to wake up early enough to do the morning one.
Now, if you do the afternoon one, then that means you got to video it, everything leaving out, and then do a fast forward to everything coming back in.
You come back, yeah. Of course, you would say that. So let's try and get through this before the battery dies, and then I'll sit down and plug the battery in.
Yeah.
Or plug the phone in. Because once I'm sitting down, but this is about where I'm going to end this tour, is showing off some of the Highline stuff. And then on my next walk, the thought would be is that I would start from down here, and we would keep going. So here you can see track.
Oh, that's cool.
And yeah, so in 1847, the city of New York authorized the construction of railroad tracks along 10th and 11th Avenues on Manhattan's west side. The street-level tracks were used by New York Central Railroad's freight trains, which shipped commodities such as coal, dairy products, and beef. For safety, the railroad hired West Side cowboys, men who rode horses and waved flags in front of trains. However, so many accidents occurred between freight trains and other traffic that the nickname Death Avenue was given to 10th and 11th Avenues. In 1910, when an organization estimated that there had been 548 deaths and 1,574 injuries over the years along 11th Avenue. In 1929, the state and New York Central agreed on the West Side Improvement Project. The first train on the Highline viaduct, part of New York Central's West Side Line, ran along the structure in 1933. So what we're on now is the Highline that was built to get the trains up off of street level, basically.
Okay.
So the Highline is 1.45 miles long, elevated linear park greenway, blah, 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 blah. The park is built on a disused southern viaduct section of the New York Central's West Side Line. Originating in the meatpacking district, the park runs from Gaspard Street, 3 blocks below. I love this, seeing the,
It's
the
a
old
frog. Yeah.
It is a frog. 3 blocks below 14th Street through Chelsea to the northern edge of the West Side Yard on 34th Street near the Javits Center. The West Side Line formerly extended south to a railroad terminal at Spring Street, just north of Canal, and north to 35th Street at the site of the Javits Center. Due to a decline in rail traffic along the rest of the viaduct, it was effectively abandoned in 1980 when the construction of the Javits Center required the demolition of the viaduct's northernmost position. But yeah, so this is the Highline. This is Hudson Yards. So the Highline would go, we'd walk basically down that path down there. But for now, I'm just gonna walk into here somewhere. There's the Shed, which is a performing arts space they built. There's the Vessel, which is, I don't understand the Vessel. It's some artsy thing made out of copper, made out of a lot of copper.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that's the tour. I don't know if people have questions or anything before I sign off. It's a helix. It's like more than a helix. It's like this weird. I don't even know what it is. It's so confusing. I guess it's a helix.
Yeah, Lynn said the Vessel from above says it looks like a helix.
Oh, from above. Yeah.
And then Mason Dixon saying, thank you for the tour. Can you walk on the Vessel, says Roy Eltham.
You can. You have to get tickets, and they're timed, and you got to wait in line with all the tourists and all that kind of stuff. So I've never actually done it. But yes, there are people up there. They'd closed it down at one point because people kept jumping off of it. And they, which when I first saw the design for it, I was like, how is that not something people are going to jump off of? But they built it anyway, and it's open again. They now have like staff standing on every level.
Yeah.
Just so that if, just to kind of keep an eye on people. But yeah,
Norman Rose says he is impressed by your stamina.
Norman, will you please tell my girlfriend that? Here's a Soul Cycle class outdoors. If people want to do Soul Cycle outside. Oh, looks like they got a stage set up over here too.
Maybe some live music.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, Jason, thanks for coming.
Yeah. And just in time, because I'm fixing to have to leave here in like a minute or two to go back to work.
Awesome. I am gonna go walk about a block north of here and jump on the subway in a second. But thanks everyone for coming. As people are leaving, I'm gonna try and run my thank you video, which will hopefully work without issue. It's a little one New York Plaza is way downtown. I can definitely go down there. I definitely go down there at some point. I will probably not run into De Blasio if I go down there, though. I feel like picking on De Blasio is like picking the low-hanging fruit. You know, it's just so easy to do. I don't, you know, it's not fair. But anyway. But yeah, I hope people enjoyed this, and I will see everyone later. I'll be back for Modeling Monday. I don't know what I'm going to be doing. A little bit of it will depend on what happens with the studio, which it's likely I won't be in by Monday because there's still, anyway.
Yeah.
I'm not going to start that rant. You guys have already heard that rant
Sore
way
subject.
too many times. Yeah, definitely a sore subject. But yeah, thanks, you know, thanks so much for being here. And that's what I got today. Have a great weekend, and I will see everybody later.
Bye, everyone.